Hello everyone and welcome to Hometown Talents and Treasures. Our goal is to introduce you to people who in their own unique way work for the betterment of society. They either educate, inform, or inspire others. And today we are talking about One for Health Foundation that's getting ready to kick off a challenge in the Merrimack Valley. I'm so pleased to have the co-founders here as well as some of the leaders in this group in this challenge.
Incorporating as many different things we believe will create interest with the kids, create an environment where they'll be really impacted, and then provide them with the type of information and a process, change some of the prevailing habits that will make a lifetime change. So,
I mean, we have programs like Linda does yoga and nutrition. We have programs that are exercise-based. We have online programs because we've teamed up with some companies. We have a company that we use for challenges to do pedometer challenges for walking, moving, and all that. So it's the physical aspect and the nutritional aspect are things that we do, but one of the big things that we try to concentrate for our programs are really the things that we think are going to make a difference in the long haul, the ones that will engage the kids and empower them and make change their habits over their lifetime. And so some of those things are really about the power of the mind's ability to affect your health and to give yourself a good feeling about yourself. So some of these interesting programs we have one program that's called Dream Keeper. So it's about what do you want to really do, what do you really want to be. So this aspect of health is extremely important as well.
A very holistic approach.
Yeah, very holistic approach.
Why do you think all these programs, there are tons of programs not only in schools at YMCA and there's such an awareness that we have a health problem in this country. Why do you think all these programs have been failing? Or what's missing?
Well, one of the things that's missing is that they don't really get at the habits. Like about this 21 days is a period in which if you constantly do something, you're forming new habits and replacing old habits and that kind of thing. But for the most part, people just are geared toward all their old habits, and it's very hard to break. But if you empower somebody and you give them an intrinsic value of feeling of, hey, I'm doing this for a particular reason, I'm helping the country, I'm helping my kids, and all that. If you give them that kind of awareness, then give them the tools to say, here's the way you can make that change. That's how things are really going to change.
My wife is an educator also, and we have a saying, it is fix the families first. You have to get into the household. It has to be a coordinated effort. Everyone has to be on board. It can't just be one or two persons. It can't just be school. It has to be the family, the extended family. It's got to be the community. It's got to be the workplace environment. And that's the key factor right there, is broadening this base so people understand what this whole process is all about.
So when the parents are doing things healthily, moving and practicing mindfulness, it filtrates down to the...
that's another problem. Family culture isn't the same as it used to be. All of us sitting here, my family environment is not the same as what even my grandkids' family environment is, because both parents are working. I'd go home after school and try to sneak a Twinkie in. My mother was there to stop me. And or if I went inside and thought I could be on the TV, forget it. You're outside with my four brothers, play something. So it's a culture thing, and then a better example, like in schools, the schools recognize this. We're an intelligent society. We know the numbers. To us, and it wasn't necessarily created this way, the real impact's coming because of the economics. We start getting into each other's pocketbook, people sit up and take a notice. Right. So there are people now that recognize, listen, I am healthy. This is now at a corporate level. Fred's not going to be healthy. I want Fred to be motivated, and I may say something to him because it's costing me.
May go up.
Exactly. And Fred's not able to do as much work because he was out yesterday, the whole absenteeism. So now the economic impact of it, because everybody's so busy, they didn't pay attention to it, but you can't avoid it anymore because we're living it, and it's a challenge. So, but the family culture, you go to the schools, they're doing these innovative programs, and what do they celebrate it with? They bring in pizza and Coke.
Belinda, I want to ask you, some of the practices that you've been doing have been around for thousands of years. In other cultures, it is the norm.
It is. This is from. It's really Ayurvedic healing, and it's in India for 5,000 years. So, it's certainly nothing new. Of course, Western world came and many good things came from that, but we lost all those practices that don't cost anything that we can do for ourselves. But we've lost that and all the, our own healing, that we're just going to lost that. So I think it just needs to be brought back in again. I mean, even if you go to your doctor isn't necessarily going to help you overcome stress or something in your life through these practices of just breathing or nutrition, foods that you eat that can impact the way that your emotions or physical or being is going to be made. So it's really just raising awareness. So it's bringing in, and what I loved what we're doing with the program is that we're not just one of these programs that's going to go in for a minute and come back out again. We're a program that's going to go in. We're training people within the organization, so we're going to try to create almost wellness coaches, if you will, within an organization where they can continue it on a daily basis. So it is something that it's change, right? And it's making conscious choices. And how do we get people to bring their awareness to a point that it makes a difference, and for them to feel the effects of what it is that just breathing, just take a minute, take a deep breath,
I hear so much from people, about yoga, for instance, and meditation, that they cannot take those classes. It's too slow. It's hard for them to, they don't have time. A jog gets things done faster. Talk a little bit about some of the benefits.
Sure. I teach actually hatha yoga, and what I teach for everybody is that yoga is for everybody. And a lot of it, there's a misunderstanding about yoga. Some think it's just power yoga and I need to be in a certain amount of shape to be able to go, but that's not true. Anybody can do yoga, and really, if we just take 5 minutes in the morning and we just do a basic yoga, or just call it stretching for kids. If somebody can't go to getting their heads around yoga, just think of it as a stretching technique in which you're using breath work to move from one posture to the next. That's the key. And going into the body, tuning in, so we really know what's happening. So I'm breathing and I'm moving. You can feel your body stretching, relieving stresses, relieving tightness that's in the body.
Cute, because one of the classes will come in, and she's done it a couple of times for the classes, and these little girls, they assume this yoga pose, and it's just great, because it's all about the kids in the future. And so the younger we can get them, and it's hard to do some of the programs we do with the real young kids. And so for the really young kids, these are the good things to do for them, because it starts to set that in the back of their mind about mindfulness and breathing, which is really the core of everything, really, when you think about it.
And they know how to, and they know that they can do things for themselves to feel better. It's so empowering. You don't have to sit, if you can't sleep at night, you don't have to stay up, or if you're having a stomach ache, there's things that you can do for yourself to help yourself heal. That does not include medication. That you can, we have all these internal factors. That's what our body is. We're so amazing. Such an instrument, really. And if we know how to tap into it, wow, how powerful we all are. So it's kind of cool.
I want to ask anyone can answer this one. How will you measure success? And is there a way of measuring what success is? Mm-hmm. These are very lofty goals you guys have, transforming a culture that's been in place for a long time.
Mm-hmm. It's a great question, but one of the reasons we, obviously, again, Mark's been very helpful to us, is that we feel it's very important to have some sort of results with companies they want to see. There's always measurements. We started this program, and there's been less absenteeism. Our people are healthier, less stress. They perform better work. So there's always within those cultures the ability to do testing. Mark's been great to be able to help us talk about and think about, well, how will we be able to measure? The 10,000 steps is sort of like the standard format for kids if they move that much. So a product like the Move Band that calculates that. So you can look, because they'll go on, and if they're in a challenge for One for Health, we'll be able to see each kid's progress and then package it and report it back to the school.
An assessment should be regular and ongoing, and the kids need that feedback. And the other important thing, I think, is the parents and then the community needs the feedback. Community-based organizations can position themselves, like One for Health, to support, not supplant what's happening in the community, not supplant what's happening at home or in the business world, but to support their efforts. And when that happens, any approaches that promote wellness and the more social norms that are conducive to healthy choices and behaviors. And this is where social media can play a delightful impact, a positive impact on the minds and the attitudes and feelings of kids and their families. More and more families, young families, use social media to talk to one another.
I have to
It's not
say
fair.
it's, sorry Mark, I have to say it's really fun because working with the kids in the school system, one, the teachers are knowing ways now in which they can help kids to calm down, help before testing. How do we help kids, become better testers, or just relax, not so much stress on that? It's amazing. So it's fun to see that it's going up. When I meet parents of the kids that I'm teaching, they're like, yeah, my son told me that, how I can relieve a headache from what you told me, and they're using it now. So really what we decide in our discussions, it's really going up. So if we can get the kids are the ones that are talking up to the parents and educating the parents on a lot of this, which is really fun, so
This
it
is
speaks
something,
right to that.
This is something that happened with us in the health and physical education field a few years back when we started to have conflict resolution programs starting right away in 6th grades when kids come to middle school, because it was a health issue. And all of a sudden parents were saying, my children are coming home and they're using a whole new dialogue. And a student would say to the parents, Mom, you're escalating the argument. They're using some of the terms, escalate and de-escalate. And the parents are saying, what are you teaching our kids? And the idea here is that we're really having them utilize the solid thought process, give them a solid understanding about what it's all about, and then listen to them. And these are all tools. It's just like someone that learns mathematics. They have to apply the process.
Because I know people like to win things.
Well, things, and I can speak to that since that's the business I'm in, and I'm responsible for the reward side. I mean, we're doing some fun things. I mean, we're incorporating now the Life is Good brand. Everybody knows what that is. It's all about optimism. It's all about being a child. I mean, when you're 2 or 3 years old and you walk in and say, hey, here I am, man. I'm ready to take the world on. Your arms are open and you embrace it. Then as we get older, we continue to get like this, and I close my arms, and we're like, wait a minute. Tell me a little bit about this. I'm not sure I trust you. So they do their thing for kids. They've given us, from a financial standpoint, the pricing and so forth to bring into corporations, whoever, use their brand to celebrate it. That's where we do this sort of win-win. If we bring in T-shirts that someone's rewarded, T.R. Miller Company is buying that at X. Life is Good takes 10% of that and gives it back to their foundation, which helps kids to be more playful and come to them with very challenging situations in their own environments. Obviously we will be using things like our hat because we want to get the word out. We want people to know and embrace, one for health, the fact that health is the one thing that matters. Because again, I just believe that to my core. Any of us that have experienced any type of physical problems, once you get it and you realize, wow, this is it, I can't really do what I want to do because I'm now battling whatever it might be. And so obviously some people have life-threatening challenges opposed to the day-to-day, but if everybody really believed that some of these things could make a difference in the quality that you live in, because we all learn to live with what we have, aches and pains, because we think that's just the way it's supposed to be. Well, it's not. And that's part of the whole educational thing with the kids, is to realize, especially as youth, listen, you're about as healthy as you can be. Take advantage of it and feel all the wonderful things, to have the energy to do the things you can do, but you need to be healthy to be able to accomplish all that. So we'll be there to show you the way to do that.
As we hear time and time again, health, nutrition is important, Very briefly, entice people to take part in this.
I guess I'll just simply say, listen, we all go this way once. And if you're going to go and you want to have a best ride, I guess, possible, take the time to look at where you are health-wise and fitness-wise. Maybe you're not able to do some things that you should have been able to do. You don't feel so good about yourself. We live in a world that's just way too busy, too much going on. So if you're not taking the time to protect your biggest investment, which is your health, I think in the long run you'll suffer the consequences. So get involved, one for help.
Yeah, I think that one of the things for me is I believe that epigenetically in your genes, this is now being proven that this is your toxins and their ill health is being passed on down, your bad habits to the next generations now, and it's making them predisposed to be obese and sick and have cancer. So if you, it's sort of like the model with smoking. If you really want to make a change, this is a reason to do it, because you're hurting your kids, like secondhand smoke does. So think of it that way, and think about your kids and the future for their sake.
Belinda.
For me, it's really about just getting the work out there as much as we can to impact as many, to really increase the well-being, and practices that do not cost additional money, that are easy, that the body really wants to do. So it's all about, really raising the awareness of things that people can do.
Mark.
I think the most important thing is that we have to learn how to embrace multiple opportunities and settings that promote practice of physical activity and healthy eating. Starts at home, goes through school, goes through families, goes all the way up to the elder care at this time. And that is a very important factor that we should also be looking at, the increased physical activity of seniors.
Absolutely, as the boomers are all of them retiring and reaching an age where they have more time, possibly, hopefully, also working out. oneforhealthfoundation.org is the website. May 27th is the kickoff for the Andover Challenge. Hopefully other Merrimack Valley communities will be able to join as well. Thank you to Tom Miller and Bruce Campilia, Belinda Macri, and Mark Alterio for coming in and talking about this. And thank you for joining us and listening to this segment of Hometown Talents and Treasures Sunday, and we'll see you next time.